Hello, and welcome to my QTP video tutorial, where I will show you how to call a sub procedure. In this video, we'll be covering the following two topics. First, what does it mean to call a sub procedure? And second, how do I write the code to do it? And in that, I'll show you two different examples. First will be a sub procedure that has inputs, and second is a sub procedure that will not have inputs. As a reminder, to stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button. This now moves us to the first topic, which asks the question, what does it mean to call a sub procedure? You will commonly hear the phrase, call a sub procedure. To call a sub procedure simply means to execute the code that is within a specific sub procedure. Some sub procedures have inputs, and some do not. How you call a sub procedure will depend on whether or not it has inputs. This moves us to the second topic, which asks the question, how do I write the code to do it? I will now show you how to write the code in QTP to call a sub procedure. For this video, I have prepared two different sub procedures that open a browser window and then automatically navigate to a specific website. The reason for having two different sub procedures is that I want to show you that how you call a sub procedure will depend on whether or not it has inputs. The purpose of this video is to show you the various ways that you can call a sub procedure. But in my QTP script, you will see sub procedures, comments, and the systemutil.run command. For more information on how to use these in your scripts, please watch some of my other videos where I go into more detail on those. This now moves us to the first example I'll show you, which is a sub procedure that has inputs. As you can see on my QTP script, this takes up lines 1 through 8. Let's begin by looking at the example that I have typed out on line 6. Let's start by typing the word call, then hitting the space bar to create a space. Then enter the name of the sub procedure, which in our example is Open Browser 3. Then type in open parentheses. You will now need to enter values for the sub procedure's inputs. To enter a value, you have lots of different options. For example, to send in an empty value, simply type 2 quotations. To send in a value as an integer, type in a number without using quotations. To send in a value as a string, type in a value within quotations. To have a variable's value sent in, enter the name of the variable. To have an environment variable's value sent in, you can type environment.value, open parentheses, open quotations, the name of the environment variable that you would like to retrieve a value of, closing quotations, then a closing parentheses. As you can see, there are lots of different ways that you can pass inputs into a sub procedure. If there is more than one input in your sub procedure, after entering the first input, you would type a comma, then hit the space bar to create a space. You would then enter the second input. You would continue to repeat these steps until you have entered values for all of the sub procedure's inputs. Once you're finished with that, type a closing parentheses. You have now typed in everything you need to call a sub procedure that has inputs. What would now happen if the sub procedure were to be called is that the code within a body of the sub procedure would be executed. Now let's move to the second example on how you can call a sub procedure with inputs, and that's down on line 7. As you can see, it's kind of similar to line 6, but it's different in that we do not begin by typing the word call. We just start off by typing the name of the sub procedure that we would like to have executed. Then hit the space bar to create a space. Then enter the inputs to the sub procedure without using the opening and closing parentheses. This now moves us to the second example that I'll be showing you, and this is a sub procedure that does not have any inputs. This takes up lines 10 through 19 in my QTP script. Let's first look at the example on line 15, which starts off by typing in the word call, hitting the space bar to create a space, typing in the name of the sub procedure that you're looking to execute, then an open parentheses, and then a closing parentheses. Now, the second way that you can call a subprocedure that does not have inputs, I've shown on line 16, which is very similar to the example that I just discussed on line 15. We start off by typing the word call, then hitting the space bar to create a space, then type in the name of the subprocedure that we would like to have executed. However, in this example, we do not type in the open parentheses and the closing parentheses. This now moves us to the third way that you can call a subprocedure that does not have inputs, and I show that on line 17. As you can see, all you do is type in the name of the subprocedure that you would like to have executed, then type an open parentheses, and then a closing parentheses. Now, the fourth way that you can call a subprocedure that does not have inputs, I show on line 18. And for that, all you do is type in the name of the subprocedure that you would like to have executed. This now concludes our video, where I've covered the following two topics. First, what does it mean to call a subprocedure? And second, how do I write the code to use it? And in that, I showed you a subprocedure that has inputs and a subprocedure that does not have inputs. As a reminder to stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button. Thank you, and I hope that you have a great day.